Hi guys, it's April with Cricut Crafting. A lot of people have asked me how I made these box inserts for I use paper mache boxes for my Cricut markers, my Copic markers, and my Spectrum Noirs. Um, I do have all three files here. I will supply the links for those. So whatever pen that you have, which I considered because everybody has different pens, and the jelly roll pens and most of your markers will fit in this Cricut box here. However, we didn't compensate for people that were buying boxes that were off. They might be 5 by 5, they might be 8 by 8, they might be an odd size at a 1/2 inch or 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to show you guys how to create this for any box size that you have, so that you can create one of these to fit into your boxes. What we're going to do is just start with a new project. Let me just pull up my design space here. I'm going to leave those up just so I can refer back to them if we need to. The first thing you want to do is measure your box. The box, you need the inside diameter. So if it's a thick box like the paper mache boxes are, it could be an 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch thick. So you'll want to compensate for that and measure to the inside and not the outside of it, because if you do, your lid may not fit, and those score lines, it's going to be hard to change it if it doesn't. So you want to make sure you get a good inside measurement on that box. Next, you'll want to measure your pen, and I measured the Cricut pens across the top. The best way to do it would be the outside diameter, and those pens are about 1.25 inches outside diameter. However, Cricut doesn't allow us to size for that. When we put in our circle shape or our oval for the Copics, which you would unlock and change the shape of, it only gives us the width and the height of it. It won't let us do outside diameter. So measure across the top of your pen, and like I said, the Cricut was almost at a 1/2 inch, I believe it was, to the best of my knowledge. I believe it was right at a 1/2 inch. It might give or take an 1/8 of an inch or a 1/16 of an inch. But I added to it to give the pen room to play so that I could put them in with the lid down and then take them out without them hanging up on the box. So I think I don't recall, but I think I made it 0.60. And I can go over there and probably check that. Let's see. Insert a circle. And I know that this one works because I have one in use, and I'll supply you guys some links to Project Primrose where you can see the photos of it. Actually, I left it at a 1/2 inch because the pen was not quite a 1/2 inch, and I still have plenty of play, plenty of room. So we're going to make this 0.5 because that's looks like what's fitting into there perfectly. Yeah, if I go much smaller than that, I can see the edges. So we're going to say 0.5 on that. If you're doing Copics, things of that nature, you can always just take and put in just a tiny circle like we have here. Cut it out of a small sheet of paper. Try the pen. Fit it. See if it works. Cut it out of a Post-it note. Anything. Check the size. Make sure that the pen goes in and out with the lid and it doesn't hang up. That's basically all you have to do to make sure that the size is correct. So we're going to make that a 0.5, and we're going to move that to the side. Now the insert itself, I did not create it from a square. I took the easy route out. I went and got an image or a box from Design Space, and I used a snowflake box. That's not the correct link. I thought I had it copied, but evidently I didn't. it was, I'm just going to put snowflake box in here. I'll know it when I see it. Snowflake. Let's try box. It might look it up that way and it might not. I believe that that is it right there. If not, it doesn't matter. It will work. I'm going to insert that image. And yeah, that looks fine. I'm going to ungroup because I don't need anything but this right here. I can get rid of everything else here. Did I lose my circle? I guess I did. I think I just deleted it. We can come back to that. I'm going to stretch this out and change it to white so we can see our score lines. There we go. That's much better. And now, of course, we don't want the snowflake to cut out of the center of this. If you wanted this for a box lid, you can duplicate it and then hide it and use it later, or just look it up again. But the first thing we want to do is come over and detach and set these score lines off to the side. We don't want to change them. We just want to leave them just as they are. We're going to be needing those. I don't know what that was. It looks like just a stray line there. We're going to insert a shape, a square, and we're going to place it over the snowflake, select both, and weld. That's going to get rid of that snowflake on there. Now we can bring these score lines back. Let's arrange and move those back to the front, because always your front layer is going to be the last layer you worked on. And we're just going to align, center, and we're going to attach those back for now. Now you have your measurement of your box, and we're going to pretend that ours is 5.5 or 5.75. So we're going to insert a shape, a square, and we're going to make this the dimension of the box. Say it's an odd shape box, 5.5 by 6. Okay, that's the shape that we, oops, it didn't take, oh, I forgot to unlock it. Unlock it and then put in your dimensions. We're going to say ours is a 5 by 6. This is going to be a little bit different than a square, which I haven't done one of these yet, so we're going to learn this together. I want to unlock this box, and we're going to stretch it or reshape it to fit that rectangle. I want my score lines to just be hidden. I mean, just peekaboo hidden. Because that is going to be, when this is folded, the edge of your insert that goes inside that box. And that's why it's important to make sure that that is right, because your box will not fit if you get that wrong. So we're just going to keep playing with it till we've got it sized just to where it's peaking. Because you want your insert to fit tight. You can always use a little glue, a hot glue, to tighten it up by putting it on the edge, and then of course you're going to glue it into place. But you just want to get that shaped right for the insert, because your box is going to be a little bit bigger than that. Okay, but this is the inside diameter of the box, 5 by 6, and we've got that score line right up to that. Okay, and then we can just set that to the side. We may or may not need it. I don't think that we do. We will use it. We will use that. You can keep that. Next, you want to detach those score lines and slide those off to the side again without moving them. We don't want to change the size of anything else here. And again, you've already got your circle for your pen. I'm just going to bring that back and change it to 0.5. That's what our size was. Next, I'm going to duplicate that and see how many will fit across. I may have to bring my score line back over here just because I want to stay inside that score line. So I'm going to line up, and these are not perfect. You want to leave a little bit of space in there just so you can get the pins out, get your fingers in there and get the pins out easily. You don't want to crowd them up too much because then that's going to cause your paper to break down. I did use watercolor paper for these inserts because I wanted them to be sturdy. You can use 120 pound, 100, up to 140 pound. Any of that will work. I wouldn't use anything below that because it's going to get wear and tear. You could even use the chipboard that comes inside some of your paper stacks and things of that nature, as long as it's good and sturdy. Cereal boxes, coffee boxes, things of that nature. Once you have that little set number that will fit in that score line, we're going to slide this off to the side, select all, go to Align, Top. That way they're aligned across the top evenly. And the next thing you want to do is distribute horizontally. That's under the Align button. And it's going to move them and put the exact number of spaces in between each one. Now that looks good to me. You may not want your space, you may want more space in between yours. If you do, just eliminate one of the circles. As long as you leave this one on the end and this one on this end, you'll be fine. If you eliminate one of those, you're not going to change anything. And I'll show you that. Distribute horizontally. And that gives me a little more space. I think I like that a little bit better. And the reason I said not to eliminate the one on the end is if you eliminate that one and then you go and you align and you distribute horizontally, it's just going to give, this is going to be the end, this is the beginning, and it's not going to change anything. So you'll want to keep the two on the end and eliminate from the middle. Let's align here, and let me align top again, get everything all lined up, and distribute horizontally. Now I know that that's going to fit on the lid, and we want to make sure that we stay inside the score lines because that is the inside of the box. Oops, I moved one, didn't I? That looks pretty good. We're going to line that up just to make sure that it does fit and look nicely. And then I'm going to move this out of the way. And then we're going to weld those circles together so they move move as one now and not independently. And everything fits together nicely. And I want to just give myself a little edge up here, just like I have on the sides, just a little bit of an edge. I can select that and select that, and let me align center horizontally, and that's going to put it right directly in those score lines. So that lines up. If you align it with the box, sometimes it can be off, but either way, right now we're just trying to get as many as we can in here, and it's just easier to work with the score lines for me. So now that we have that row, you want to duplicate it several times and bring those in as well. And we'll line them all up and get them perfect after we fit as many as we can into the box. And how many you put in there and how tightly you get them is going to be up to you. I like to have space in mine. They move duplicate to the top. I keep wanting to go to the bottom. I still haven't gotten used to that yet. Let's see. I think I can get one or two more in there and then be distributed well. That looks good to me. I'm going to move my score lines out of the way. And then we're going to align left or right, your choice. Go back to align, distribute vertically. And that's going to space them out to where they fit into those score lines very well. Okay, bring this over. You want to select, leave that for now. Once you have those aligned and distributed, weld those. That way nothing gets moved and everything is in one place. Then you'll want your lid and the circles, align center. And just to double check, like I was saying before, make sure that your score lines, when placed, everything is right. And it is. It's going to work perfectly. Select these two and slice. Don't toss out your circles. You can toss out one set, but you're going to need a set. So we'll just get rid of the gray ones. We don't need those. And then you'll want to bring back your score line. Select both. Align, center. I'm going to move this to the back so that you can see the score lines. But they're there regardless if they're on top or move it to the back. There we go. Some cards that you open, I've noticed on like some Anna Griffin cards and stuff, theirs are hidden to the back. But we're just going to attach that. And that is the insert. Duplicate it because you need one at the bottom of the box as well as at the top of the box, and that creates that. Next, let's move this arrange to the front. This is your panel, your decorative panel, and you'll create decorative panels for your outside of your box. If it's not a decorative box or whatever, you can create those panels like I did over here. You have all of these. But this will all depend on your box and where you want panels. But for this one, I'm just going to show you how to get that inside panel. And you'll want to make sure that your square still fits. That's why we saved that off to the side. Select your circles and that square. Align, center. Let me move that square to the back so we can see. Arrange, move it to the back. And just to make sure I didn't move anything, we're going to align and center and then slice. Now you can save these in case you ever need to redo a panel or anything. I didn't find it necessary, but now you have that panel, that decorative panel that will fit directly on the top right here. Now if you want those to give you a little bit of edge to where it shows something like this around the edge of the thing, you'll need to go in, instead of it fitting flush, if you want your if you want your panel to give a slight peekaboo effect around this circle, then you'll need to make the circles bigger in that on the panel instead of the insert. Let me show you what I mean. Let me get back over here. It's going to make me undo 1,000 times. And that should do it. Oh, 2 more. Did that work? That worked. And what we would want to do here is you would want to recreate this panel, making these say 0.6, and then you'll want to cut them out of this panel, giving it that peekaboo effect. To me, I didn't want to go through all that trouble to get there, so I just left it as it was and called it a day. Let me go ahead and align, center, and slice that back. But it's all in what you want to take the time to do. This was just for me, just for decorative purposes, and I didn't care that the circles were flush. It just kind of helped make this a little more sturdier. And that's all there is to creating and getting these lined up perfectly. Like I said, someone asked me, how do you get that to line up like that? And this is all on how you use your align and your arrange and your distribute. It's very easy. If you have any questions, message me. I'll be happy to help anybody that needs help and didn't understand any of this. If you like the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, if you're not a member of my Facebook group, please join. We do lots of fun things in there, do giveaways. I do a number of things, and I always post my files there first. So if you guys enjoyed this, have a wonderful crafting day, and please, please, please hit the like button and subscribe.